Okay, in this video, we're going to be covering how to complete a survey template. We're going to complete a quick short one here and show you the nuances of the different questions, maybe the different question types, and then we can kind of jump into some other different question types from other surveys that you might run across. So first of all, we're going to pick this first one eView test training template here. So we're going to choose that, and now you see the list of questions. Now you'll always, again, have the ability to click in this search button. Obviously, this one's not very difficult to search through as far as it's only got 5 specific questions. Actually, I think it's got 6 questions here. So if you had wanted to search for a particular category, area, or question type, you could type in the search button here. You have the funnel at the very top right. And by clicking on the funnel, you're able to actually select, you can select a status of questions. So if you only want to see those questions that are pending, left to be completed, you could search on those and it will filter down to those. If you wanted to see a specific area, you can also do the specific area range and category as well. So if I wanted to see exterior, I could type in exterior and I would be able to see those particular items. So if we're just going to jump into a question here. Now, one of the advantages of utilizing Go eView is the ability to add 360-degree photos and pin those photos to a specific map. Now you can either have an overlay for those particular maps, like a PDF overlay, a floor plan, a fixture plan, an HVAC plan, some type of plan that you can do that, and certainly reach out to us if you have questions. But now we're going to actually enter a 360 photo and show you what that looks like. So if, for instance, I wanted to add an answer to this particular question, I'm just going to type in answer under that, or I can use the audio at the bottom, answer, and it will automatically type my answer for me. If you've created flags within your system, you can utilize those flags. They're available here. So for instance, if this were a security issue, I can do that. It highlights that bar and shows you which one you have chosen. You can choose multiple flags if you so choose. You can filter on those once you're doing the reporting. But for this particular one, I'm only going to choose one flag. I can also add additional comments. So I can type those. I can add additional comments to anything like this here. And now I'm going to add the 360 photo. So what I'm doing is I'm actually tapping on this 360 degree. I have connected a Theta S camera or a Theta V camera. Either one will actually work. And now you're seeing the 360-degree view at the top of the screen. This is giving me my preview of what I'm actually capturing. So I'm capturing myself in my office. I click on capture. And now it actually adds that particular. Now I have the camera set to HDR setting, which helps me with any lighting issues. If you're taking it in a darker location, or you're taking it indoors, outdoors, or you're switching back and forth, it really helps to keep that HDR setting so that the picture is as clear as it possibly can be. The camera adjusts for any lighting, things of that nature. But it only takes a few seconds for it to process and load. And now you're able to preview that particular picture by just holding my finger on the screen and just moving the picture around to be able to say, yep, it was clear. I was able to capture the entire thing. And again, this is my particular office. So you're seeing that. So if I click on use in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, it attaches that to the particular question. Now I can add a photo, another flat photo. You can only add one 360 per line item. And this helps with the mapping so that you can actually build a virtual tour. It actually will link those photos together and build a virtual tour. And we'll show you that in additional training or more advanced training as we go. But let's add a flat photo here. And so now my camera comes up and I'm able to add a flat photo. So I click on picture. And now the picture comes up. I click on save and done. Now in this particular way, I can actually annotate or update the photo. If I click on the little pencil up in the top item right here, click on the little pencil and choose a color. Let's choose bright green. And I can circle right here on the picture. I'm just using my finger to draw and actually circle an item on the picture itself. I click on done. Now I can add some text. I wanted to add text in red, and I click on text, right? Click on done, and now I can actually drag that just by holding my finger on the text itself and drag it around on the photo. Click on save, click on done, and now you can actually see those particular photos. Now you can preview the flat one, and you can also preview just the 360, and you can now go back to the question and complete it. The minimum number of photos here at the bottom where it says minimum of 1 photo required, that means that you have to complete or at least add 1 photo or check that there are no photos in order to complete this particular question. Then you're going to click on this button right here, which is save and next. This button here is save and previous. If you're just arrowing through questions, you can utilize either arrow. But before we get off this one question, let's click on this map icon up here at the top right. Click on the map, and it's going to bring up the map of the location where I am completing this particular survey. Now, this is bringing up an office building, which I've added as the address for this particular survey, just to give you an example. But here, you're able to actually hold your finger on the icon and drag it. So let's say, for instance, my office happens to be right here. I can click there, and it's going to save that particular image on that map and overlay it when we review it online for the client. Now I'm going to click on my save and next up here to the right, and you click and you get a message that says saved, and it moves to the next question. So let's go back out for a second and look at the difference between. So now I've finished this particular question. I've added more than 1 photo. It's showing green, which means that the photo has been, or the question has been completed, and I can move on to other questions throughout the survey. Now, I can real quickly, I'm going to go through just to answer these other questions the same way. New answer. I'm not going to flag it. I'm going to add 2 photos. I'm going to add another photo here. I can add either the flat photo first, or I can add the 360 second. And it takes just for a few seconds for the photo to do. Click on use. Now I've got both those items. I'm going to click on save and next. Hand-drawn map. If I wanted to do a hand-drawn map, I can actually take a photo of a white sheet of paper. So let's do this. I click here, and I'm going to take a map, click on the white sheet of paper. Okay, and now I can hand draw my map. So I'm going to click here, I'm going to click black, and I'm going to draw my map with my finger here. Okay, and I'm going to do here. And I'm going to say this is 1, this is 2, 3, 4. And that is our unit numbers, front, rear, done. And now I can add text. And I'm going to say this is red and unit numbers. Click here. And now I have hand drawn a map on my tablet. Right, so map of units. Okay, click on save and next. I don't need to map that particular item, so let's go back out here. And so I've completed the first 3 questions. Now it's got this question in this blue bar. And this blue bar is what's called an iteration question, which means that you can add multiple iterations. So let's click into the question first and see what it says. Create 4 iterations of this question, and using your hand-drawn map, take a 360 photo at each corner of the building and number your map 1 through 4 to correlate with the photos taken. So let's go back to the questions. See this little plus mark to the right-hand side? I'm going to click on that plus mark, and I'm going to add 4 iterations. Click on 4. Takes just a second for the 4 iterations to be created. And now I can take 4 360-degree photos and mark up that map just like the suggestion has. Now let's test the filter here. So we're going to test the filter and show that we're only going to show pending questions, and hit on apply. And now it's only going to show me those questions that I have completed or that need to be completed as part of the survey. If I go back and clear my filters, my questions come back. You can also add more or additional iterations if necessary by just clicking on the plus mark and then click on the completed map. So for right now, for this survey, what I'm going to actually do is click on NA for the balance of these so I can show you the end result. The other item up here is this I. You can click on the I and you can validate the address where you're supposed to be. So let's click on NA, and now NA. So I can NA everything, which I don't want to do because I've already answered some questions. I can NA to the responded, which I would NA the ones that I've already responded to, don't want to do that. Or I can mark not applicable to the pending ones, which are these 4 or 5 questions that I've got here. So I'm going to NA to pending. Okay, and it takes just a second, and you'll see this particular question turn green. Now, all of the items have been satisfied. I'm going to go back out to the main screen. Now, what's interesting is back at the dashboard, I do not see that particular survey any longer. That's because what's showing on this home screen again is what's pending or what's yet to be done or what was recently surveyed. If you want to go to in progress, now you're seeing all the surveys that are in progress or ready to be completed. Okay, so now once you have completed the entire survey, it gives you the opportunity to go back and check anything that you may have missed, or you wanted to change, or you wanted to add, or something like that. Then you can hit this complete button. But let's do this before we change, before we submit it. We're going to click on the question, and we're going to go back and we're going to add this completed map. We're going to change it, and we're going to say, okay, so we're going to change our entry here. That was checked as no entry because we marked it as not applicable. And down here, you see where it was marked no, it actually grays out the ability to take a photo. So we're going to go back. We're going to change that to yes. We're going to take off our no entry here and click on answer last. Okay, and then we're going to add one more photo. We're going to go in now, and since we undid our yes and no photo, click off yes, and we're going to add a photo. Click on here and click on save the mouse, or check the mouse there, click on save, click on done, and we're going to save and next. Okay, so now we've got the survey, it's been completed, and so we'll go back out to this main screen. And so at this main screen, what we're going to end up doing is we're going to, now that we've checked it and we've validated that it has been completed, we're going to have to tap our complete button. Otherwise, this will stay as an in progress status, and our QA auditors and the clients won't be able to see the information. So you need to click on this complete button to tell your clients or your people that you've completed the survey. So we're going to click on complete, and the survey will disappear from the app. Right? That's the basics of going through and answering a question and completing a survey from start to finish. We'll cover more questions and more question types in the next training video. See you in the next training video.